We are live, I think.
Hello.
Still
I'm
don't.
in a game, but I'll open up YouTube in a sec.
Yeah, I still don't really know how this works, so I guess I just click the button and it starts streaming. I don't know the delays or anything.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how to check view count. Two watching is probably me and you.
I am watching.
Oh, someone's actually here and watching me sit at the menu? Awesome. That's 100% success rate. But yes, for the one guy who tuned in. Oh, it's fucking Takina. But it's good. I like when good people watch my shit.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming some Hot Pursuit 2 before I head to bed. This game's pretty fun with a wheel. And it runs really well on my work/play computer, which in my opinion the biggest perk of this job was getting a dev PC and getting something that was basically top of the line because all the PS2 emulation that's like kind of shoddy and you basically need the beefiest PC known to man to run it and have it look moderately well and still run 60 FPS. That was part of the deal. So I get to play all these games from my childhood with 16 times super duper graphics. And yes, there's actually a plugin that Ethan showed me, I want to say a year or so ago, that it's like a plugin for PCSX2 that uh, turns the
It e-
USB plugin thing into
it
like,
emulates a Driving Force Pro so that any input device you use will be read as a Driving Force Pro. So you could use a fucking Fanatec wheel and Husing-Feld pedals in completely separate inputs, and it will combine them all into one emulated Driving Force Pro. And you can play Gran Turismo 4 with a load cell brake, even though you have no need to, because in Gran Turismo 4 you cannot lock the tires.
and
Neat.
What Ethan has also forgotten to add, but as you see why I keep him around is because he is the infinitely better talker of the two of us.
Oh,
You can also change force feedback on a slider, like it's a sim. So there's instead of just on or off in the game, there's a straight up slider for it. You know what? I bet you I can bring this up. Let me try and bring this up without like showing porn, because that's a real risk here, and one of the reasons I don't really like streaming. So I go to OBS, and I'm still like learning how all this shit works. So bear with me. Game capture, PCSX2 options. Great new. Capture any full screen window. Capture a specific window. I guess it would be this window. Let's try this. USB plugin settings. Yeah, this is gonna be tricky to configure. Bear with me, guys. But I do want to show this off because it is really, really cool. That sounds about right. Let's see, can you see this? Possibly? No? Of course you can't. Life is pain.
damn it! I would be checking, but I'm just finishing up a game of Rocket League Rumble here right now, and then I'll be right out to interact with you, lovely two people.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm new at OBS, but it's definitely there. It's definitely like very. If you've ever used mods for like Sebastian Loborelli Evo, and you know, like, it's a very generic Windows looking thing with just like your control inputs and then like kind of a display to show like your axis curvature and stuff like that. It's very generic looking, but when you like sit for 30 seconds and look at the options it gives you, it basically turns PCSX2 into like a PC sim, or as close as you can get with a simulator. It's very, very good software. So I'm gonna get to racing. I really should warm up with something half decent here. Nope, not quick race. No, that could be okay. Quick race in this just throws you on a random car, random track. It has decided I want auto transmission, so that's slightly disappointing.
Easy.
Yeah. And I never owned this game back in the day for PS2. I had a GameCube because I was a Nintendo babby. My friend had it for PS2, and we'd play the shit out of this head-to-head, and I knew, like, even back then there was a difference between the two games. This is weird without being able to shift. I'm just overshooting everything, but we'll try here.
We won. Time to load up the stream and see all you lovely people.
I think I have a bit too much rotation in, because this game was built for like the very first PS2 wheels in 2000, so I think it was built for like 180 degree rotation, and I'm trying to run like 240, so there's play like it's a sim right now, and it kind of works, but I'm having to trail brake a lot, and I'm just understeering everywhere, but it is what it is. And I want to do a couple of the very high challenge races, like near the end of career. This is a save that just has everything unlocked, because I can't no life like I used to. But there's some really, really fun challenges at the end of career mode in this game that are like 8 laps long. And back in the day, they were impossible to sit through as a kid. But now it's like, oh, laps are 2.5 minutes. That's like driving at Road America.
Yeah, this looks really good. One of the best working emulated titles for a PCSX2 is undoubtedly Gran Turismo 4. The only issue I've found is that photo mode doesn't work, but everything else is just absolutely spot on. It's absolutely faultless, and it's just so much fun to revisit that and drive all those old tracks with my current wheel setup and all that. And the force feedback is also extremely good. I would honestly compare it to a Assetto Corsa or any other sim on the market. One I couldn't get working so well was Enthusia. I'm quite sad about that, but maybe I'll get it working. Who knows?
Enthusia is something I managed to get working, and it is really, really good. It actually feels like some of the street cars in Gran Turismo Sport, and that's because GT eventually did hire one of Enthusiast's physics guys. And you can actually feel it, like, the weekly races last week had the Mazda RX-7 Spirit Type R. I think I got that name right, I'm not a Japanese car guy. At Tsukuba, or Tsukuba, whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty sure people know what track I'm talking about.
Tsukuba.
And it drove very similar to what I'd experienced with Enthusia on PCSX2.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't been able to drive Enthusia properly.
Enthusia... No, you go. You got me.
Well, just saying Gran Turismo 4 is just absolutely sublime, and if you have a high-quality PC, then I would absolutely recommend getting PCSX2 and emulating Gran Turismo 4 and setting up with your wheel and everything, because it is worth it. You do notice like issues in the physics, like wheel spin and sliding just doesn't work as it should, and you can't lock the brakes and all that, but it is fun. It is so much fun, and it's way ahead of its time as well. And it's Nordschleifer. I wouldn't be surprised if it was laser scanned. Like, I'm very hard pressed to detect the difference between its and ACs aside from the carousels. That's the only difference I can feel.
Yeah, Gran Turismo 4, I got a all-car garage save, and I messed around with the Viper Competition Coupe, which was I believe it was the first GT3, like purpose-built GT3 car. They have it in GT4 as one of the newest cars in that game. And I'm not a fan of GT Sports like racing slicks, and I think both you and I can kind of agree there that their slicks have too much grip. But if you go one tire compound harder, or basically 2 or 3 up from default on whatever's on your car to begin with, it like instantly turns into a PC sim.
Yeah, yeah, close to it. I would say that the lack of control on throttle, like you cannot do the thing where you hit the throttle, get the tail out, and hold it there with the throttle. It's like the diff is fully open on power.
That sounds about
Like
right.
you cannot get it sideways. Um, but one thing I really like about GT is power application, or GT4 rather, because there's a lot of pitch in the suspension. Seems like no matter what you drive, there's a lot of bowing and pulling backwards when you accelerate, and just as it should be, really. The amount you're pitching back is completely proportional to the amount of power you can put down, and just the visual feedback with power application is just particularly fun. It's such a small thing, but it's really fun if you turn traction control off and manage a throttle.
One of the most underrated parts of GT4, and I think you touched on it a bit with the Nürburgring, the track, both the track textures, the track models, everything to do with the track visual quality in that game is, I would say, 7 to 10 years ahead of its time. Especially some of
Yes.
the city courses. There is, I believe it's called City Diana, and it's just like a one-lane track through this like Italian mountainside town,
Yeah,
and it's
Setta di Aria.
that's it.
Yeah, that is incredible. So much about Gran Turismo 4 was ahead of its time. 3D spectators and the pit stop, the biped animations were particularly good. If you had an open top car, I don't think, I honestly don't think those driver animations have been equal to this day. I haven't seen driver animations that good. It just looks so fluid and natural. It really is amazing.
There was a level of polish to GT4, especially when it came out, that was unmatched for several years across most niche video game genres. Because I mean, you got to think Call of Duty had just come out and was about to explode. Like there were still some really good games. The Madden series was peaking in 04, 05, but GT4, even as someone who didn't own a PS2, when it dropped and the praise it got and the community that sprang up around it in GT Planet, even though it was already going, it just exploded in
Yeah,
popularity.
absolutely. Yeah. No, there's just so much about it was ahead of its time. I remember Gran Turismo was always the benchmark for console graphics. Like Polyphony always pushed it as hard as it could go, and GT4 just looked so beautiful for the day. And it's just still today, I think it's incredible. And yeah, if your PC can handle it, you can do a lot worse than getting it for PCSX2, because it's to the point where I found out that you could make direct shortcuts to PCSX2 games and set icons for them and everything. So I have Gran Turismo 4 on my desktop with an icon, double click it, the window just starts, and it's just like a PC game. And it's just such a good feeling, because that game was so much of my childhood.
So we got a request to run a vet, so I'm running one of the PS2 exclusive courses in the NFS edition Corvette. Uh, Compared to the Nintendo GameCube, the PC, the Xbox version, there were a couple more extra tracks that only appeared in the PS2 version. It was basically just one environment, I guess you could call it Rocky Canyons or Red Rocks environment. So that's where we are now. And I've fucked up the line.
I remember this track by heart. There's a billboard you can jump through at one point. So sick.
One thing that a lot of people don't remember about this game until they actually start playing it is that EA and Black Box designed some absurdly long tracks for this game.
Yes.
Especially in the opening tiers of career mode. I think you can agree with me there.
Hmm.
When you're running the lower powered cars, it is not fun. It destroys the early hours of the game
Yep, it's a
because,
grind.
yeah, I mean we're talking 3.5 minute lap times on
Yep.
4 lap events, and it's nuts. But by the end of it, when you are running the higher class stuff, the McLarens, the Mercedes CLK GTRs, and even like we're in right now, the NFS edition Corvette C5, it turns into a more reasonable 2.5 minutes. Again, I compare it to Road America, and that's probably the
Yep.
best way to put it.
And it handles well enough, so you can. And these roads are kind of designed nice and big and curvy. So when you do get that CLK GTR and the high power, high downforce kind of things, it's you just race it like a track, like a track sim. I know you've uploaded a world record like kind of hot lap video,
Yeah.
and it works really well. It's kind of like having a lot of Nürburgrings.
Well, and it was really the last, or one of the last games that EA had put out that made use of closed circuits.
Hmm.
Starting with, and I know Underground 1 didn't have a free roam option, but Underground 1, all the tracks were placed in the same city model. So EA had basically built the city and built individual tracks that flowed well and kind of drove well, but then connected them together. But then in future iterations of Need for Speed, it was all just an open map kind of deal. And
Did
then
Underground One not have free roam? I
Underground
didn't know
1
that.
didn't have free roam, Underground 2 did.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Underground 2 for sure.
Oh yeah.
I never played Underground 1.
So
I'm
Underground
an
1
idiot.
actually drove like this, but with tuner cars, and it's to the point where I would actually like to do a playthrough with a wheel of Underground 1 on PS2.
Hmm. I remember Underground 2 handling kind of similar though. Surely.
You
Maybe I'm
could
wrong.
do some extra stuff with car tuning, and they were very similar in terms of driving model. In fact, I would wager that they're largely the same.
Hmm.
But again,
That's
Underground
awful.
2, you could take your car and career to the test track and start messing with the setup. I would like to see how much that affects it in 2018 with what I know now about car setup, because when I played it, I was 13.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I would like to give that a look. I might try and find Underground 2 for PC because, as far as I'm aware, unlike Hot Pursuit 2, there was no discrepancy between console and PC version.
Yeah, and the PC version also benefits from a couple of mods people have added in after the fact. So you can run uh, the European version, and the American version had exclusive cars to each one based on like market tendencies. So
Ooh.
like you had an Opel and a Vauxhall hatchback.
Oh, joy.
Yep. Whereas America, I think it had like the Acura RSX and something else.
Ah,
Yep.
that makes
And
sense.
someone
Yeah.
patched it so all cars can exist simultaneously, which doesn't do a lot to the car count, but considering that's 2 extra cars for people who hadn't played the other version, that's still kind of a neat little bonus.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's unseen content in a game you played in your
Yeah.
childhood. Even how little it is, I like that.
There's also a decent amount of texture mods. You can run, again, the Logitech profiler with it, so you can get your FFB set up properly to some extent.
Yeah, with that Driving Force Pro plugin, or it does the Driving Force um, previous one with the blue grips I used to have. It does that as
Yep.
well. As long as your game supported either of those wheels, the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do with PCSX2 emulation. Just as long as the title does work with PCSX2, because there are some that don't. Dropship United Peace Force still doesn't work with PCSX2, and that
Rip.
makes me incredibly sad because I love that game so much. But, the way we're talking right now would make a really good podcast, wouldn't it? I feel like we're in a kind of podcast mode
Well,
right now.
having video behind it really kind of sets the atmosphere, and it's kind of what I've wanted to do with streaming in a way. But again,
Hmm.
I'm not the best public speaker, and that's why so much of PRC was text space because I can sit there and I can just hit backspace and reword stuff. Whereas I kind of have,
Yes.
and the Canadians, if there are any around here who are listening to me, they'll notice it. I sound like a hockey player giving hockey interviews. And if you watch post-game hockey interviews and listen to how I talk, it's the same. But
Yeah, that
I'm
makes sense.
definitely getting my rhythm so far. This game drives in a very strange way. Trail braking works, four-wheel drifting works, but it's still like super arcade. It's Codemaster's Simcade before we really knew what Codemaster's Simcade was, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but isn't that realistic? Real life is arcade.
That's true. I mean, we're doing some ridiculous shit in this race,
Yeah, I
but
mean, I
it's
don't
close
think that
enough.
Corvette would work this well off-road in reality.
It's kind of like GPL with a ton of downforce. It's very strange,
That,
but I'm having fun.
that is absolutely spot on. It's got that weird driftiness, but it's
Yep.
like the car's sideways, but I still have all the grip. I've not broken traction. It's that GPL kind of thing. I hate that. But GPL did it really well. Words are hard. What do you think of or did you think of Hot Pursuit 2010? Did you ever play that?
I played it. When I got my first job, and this is way back, like 8 or 9 years ago, at a furniture store. That was like my goal. My first paycheck, I was gonna buy the limited edition of Hot Pursuit, which had just came out like a month before I got hired.
Oh, base.
And I bought it like 6 months later. I just kind of forgot about it. I liked it. I'm on two schools of thought with that game. It was a really good Burnout game.
Yes.
It wasn't a good Need for Speed game. It
I
was
liked
too. It was too Burnout-ish. It had the crashing.
Yeah.
It had the canned drifting, which there's nothing wrong with it. But like to me, what I'm playing right now is Need for Speed.
The way I see it is it was not Codemasters, it was Criterion doing a cover of Need for Speed, like how a
Yep.
band would cover a song. But I also really like 2010 because up until then we were talking about like the old Most Wanted and the Undergrounds that came before that
Yep.
at that point, and Carbon and all that sort of stuff. And it had taken this like riced up tuna kind of stance that I felt outstayed its welcome. And I was getting really annoyed at like chavs on Facebook saying, "Oh, bring back fucking body kits on fucking Peugeot 306s, man. That's the fucking roots of Need for Speed." But it really wasn't. The roots of Need for Speed are hot cars, fast cops, fast coastal, like exotic roads through forests and stuff, helicopter police chases, just supercars. And when I saw the trailer for Hot Pursuit 2010, I squealed in excitement. Need for Speed was back, so I didn't really care about the handling model so much. I'm a massive Burnout fan, so I quite liked it. But no, what mattered for me was Need for Speed getting back to those roots that it started out with. You know, it was almost like, well, I was about to say Hot Pursuit 3, but I mean it literally is Hot Pursuit 3. They just called it Hot Pursuit. But no, it's a continuation of Pursuit 2 that I loved.
There was an interesting comment left in the chat about Beetle Adventure Racing.
Not heard of it, but I guess you have.
So EA didn't really go with any Need for Speed releases on the N64 because the N64 was, I don't want to say difficult to develop for, but it's like Nintendo kind of, I don't want to say dictated, but there was an overall art style and the kind of game type to be released on the N64. They wanted like these bright, colorful graphics. They didn't want realism. They wanted every game to look like Mario 64 to some extent. And when you go through the N64's library of video games, they all kind of do look the same. So Beetle Adventure Racing was EA's anti-Need for Speed on the N64. And I've played a bit of it. I thought it was too grindy, and it actually has the same problem this game has, where the tracks are too long. What I would like to play through one day, and maybe I'll do it on a stream just for a laugh, in Australia they released HSV Adventure Racing, which is
Oh, yeah.
it's the same game.
Hmm.
There's nothing different other than the 3D models of the cars. And I'm not a big fan of Volkswagen. I think the Beetles are ugly, especially the new Beetle from '98 to '99.
I think you're ugly.
I know I'm ugly. That's not really up for debate. But the Beetles are pretty ugly. And
No.
I would definitely like to play through that game with what's essentially Australian V8 supercars, because it's a very unique game. It's almost like Need for Speed Nitro, but 10 years earlier on the
Oh yeah.
N64. Very
Yeah.
very similar concept. So one day I'll get around to playing that.
The new Beatles, I kind of agree with, but if you're honestly going to look at Herbie the Love Bug and call him ugly, I will throw hands, bitch. I
Not
swear to
Herbie. It
God.
was it was the '98 '99 generation that was, I think it
Yeah,
debuted in
I
Midtown Madness.
yeah yeah
Yep.
I agree with you there. But the old Beetle, also yeah, no disputing that it was ahead of its time. The original Most Wanted, and the great games. I'm not saying the bad games at all. I just lamented the shift in direction from supercars and coastal roads and cop chases to you know cashing in on Fast and Furious.
The one thing that cashing in on the FNF games, or the FNF popularity did, was the
Kill Paul
car
Walker.
the car customization in the underground games
Sorry.
was solid.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I've made some really good cars in not Hop Pursuit, Underground 2 that really stick in my memory, like like the red and silver Hyundai Coupe.
Yep.
They call it Tiburon, whatever. Like that red and silver one with the chevrons.
Yep.
That really sticks in my mind, and that was I carried that forward into the Mercedes AMG I ran in OVGT3,
Yeah, I remember that livery.
the blue and black one, yeah. So those chevrons on the side came from that car.
This AI does not give a fuck, and this is my last warm-up race before we start taking on the big guns.
Oh boy! Holy shit! Dude, he
Yeah.
hammered you.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind. Like this is part of the charm of this game, is just how ridiculous it was in some aspects. And for as arcade as this game is, the amount you can rotate this car with the brakes, which is what you could do in the actual Viper, is pretty wild. Like
You've
this.
driven an actual Viper?
No, but I mean, you read enough, like road and track shit. You read enough and watch
Yeah.
enough test drives. They all kind of say this thing was like a crazy death trap, but if you knew how to drive it, it was like really fun. And it's kind of coming across here, which is actually somewhat impressive.
Hmm. Shout out to something that Hot Pursuit 2 is doing that Sims seem to ignore. The physics of jumping and landing. Like how it will take like a kind of randomized angle in the air, and just how good the landing feels. Like it feels like a heavy car landing down, whereas in Assetto Corsa it just feels like you just dropped a brick when you fly over the floodplaats or whatever.
Well, part of the reason is I don't think AC intended people to be jumping in their cars. You know, I don't think
But then
anyone
they
at
put the
Kunos
Nordschleife
knew.
in.
That's true, but I don't think people at Kunos knew what like Lucas Oil Off-Road Series is, so like, they can kind of be forgiven for that. But I do
I
agree,
guess,
like
but-
when I catch air in this, it's pretty fluid.
Yeah, and maximum shill, but it's something that Project Cars 2 does really well. Like going over the floodflats of the Nürburgring in P Cars 2 is just absolutely brilliant. Like the car just, you feel like you're landing a heavy car on some soft suspension,
You know,
and you can't lose it.
what's funny, and again, I'm not entirely sure how much I'm allowed to say because like NDAs, but that's one of the things when we test DLC, is we'd check during development, is you'd take one of the DLC cars to like California Highway, and you jump it off, or you just like air it out on one of the California Highway tracks. I forget which layout, but there's like a big hill you could take, and you'd always catch air. And there's basically a couple variables they could tweak inside like what's essentially our car INI file to give the car the right attitude through the air. So that was
That's
something
good.
that was something that like one of our physics guys would tweak, and he'd be like, Austin, can you check this and see if the car's like not nosing over? Like it's pretty interesting, and I'm kind of sad PRC isn't around anymore, because like as much as I'm certain I'd get just a billion shill comments, like it's kind of neat what goes on before you ship content like that out to the public, because it's pretty extensive, the kind of testing we did.
Yeah. Also, I love being able to control my flying. I'm just saying it's nice to see Hot Suit 2 or whatever, or even P-Cars 2, not just fly through the air straight and true like a brick.
Yeah.
No nature to it or anything.
The one thing you can't do in this game, unfortunately, and it's something we both know from being fans of off-road racing, is you can't use the brake to pitch the nose over.
I was about to mention.
I'm not going to complain you can't do it in a PS2 game from 2000.
Yeah. I remember Richard Burns' Rally Diamond Creek 2, I think is what it's called. Massive jump, and you stamp on the brake and pull the handbrake, and the nose just dips perfectly. Richard Burns' Rally is amazing for that.
RBR would be a fun game to stream on here, but the unfortunate part of RBR is that there's so few stages that it really isn't rallying anymore.
Yeah.
But I would still like to do a full run through, because that game's a lot of fun. The vanilla content, though, because there are a few total conversion mods that bundle like everything good. NGP physics, widescreen hacks, like it's an all-in-one installer. But they always include like mod cars and modded AI, and sometimes you just... Basically, the guy who's modded the AI either isn't very good or just kind of half-assed it, so you beat everyone by 20 seconds in every stage. And like, I know I'm good, I'm not that good, and I would like a challenge. But I would like to find the correct cars, like vanilla content with just NGP, and do a run through on that, because there were some really iconic WRC cars in that game from that era. The Hyundai Accent, the Impreza from when Richard Burns and I believe Petter Solberg drove it for a season. Mackinnon, there was the Toyota Corolla, the hatchback. Just a time capsule into what many consider the glory days of the World Rally Championship.
It is rally racing, or rallying's NRO3, Richard Burns Rally, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's just a shame that the modding was so, not haphazard, but it's a pain in the ass to install mods for that game. Yeah. Especially back in the RSR BR mod days, where they would make you download like 9 packs of just shit. I don't want to like
9 gigabytes big as well.
Yeah, and it came at a time like RSR BR 2011 where like 10 gigabytes for a mod was like kind of ridiculous. And now we fucking download like 38 gigabyte Steam games, right?
Yeah, I remember downloading GTA 5. No, it was Horizon 4, 65 gigs.
Throw it back to RSR BR 2011, it's like 9 gigs, are you fucking kidding me? And they're all in parts. It's pain.
Gigabytes. I used to have a really sick video of me up driving Diamond Creek 2 where I did the brake tap thing, and I put Uprising by Muse instrumental behind it. But I changed channels.
Rip.
Yeah, OVG was stalking my old comments and stuff, and I don't like that, so I just made a new channel.
I don't think I even noticed. I think I just saw I wasn't subscribed to you and was like, oh, okay. I didn't know it was a whole second channel.
You're still not subscribed to me, you fuck.
I'm not? Toss me a link.
Don't.
Just send it over Discord.
Okay.
So again, this is the last warm-up race I'll do before I'll start attacking some of the more ridiculous challenges. I'll probably change my wheel rotation to have tighter steering, because some of the cars you end up driving are basically... I mean, they're not F1 cars, but this game models them as ridiculous machinery, right? And I don't really want to drive this like it's a sim, because it's not... I don't really know how to put my finger on it, but having a sloppy wheel like you'd have in a sim, for whatever reason, is not ideal in this game.
A sloppy wheel? You mean like a low turning ratio? Steering ratio?
Yeah, like so on center it's not as sensitive. Which is great for like GT3 cars or just long races where you can be lazy with your marks. But here it's very they want me to drive it like a sort of F1 LMP1 style hybrid, so I will.
Yeah, like that'd be 360 or 420. I like that the Monaco steering rack brings 420 degrees of steering rotation, at least from what I see. Plays it. Looks about there anyway. Might be nearer like 540.
I'm impressed we have a decent view count, and by decent I mean decent for us.
Yeah,
Like,
8 watching now.
and I blew that jump again.
Well done.
This game shifting's a little weird, and it's something I learned hot lapping a couple months back. If you get air and you land in like a high gear, you bog out, but if you land in a low gear, it's like the torque converts. It's very strange, and it's something you have to drive to experience, but it seems like being in a low gear in this game through corners when coming out of a corner, or just landing off a jump, produces more torque than keeping the RPMs up, so it's like every car's... It's strange.
Yes. Very strange.
13, 14, 15. It's not a bad lap.
I will literally do hot lap battles with you in this.
Go for it.
Maybe.
So, we are going to go to career mode. And this game had two distinct career modes in it. There was the hot pursuit, where you're running from the cops. And then, I guess, the world circuit portion, which is just straight up races. And there are two events I want to try and beat tonight. One of them I know I can beat because it's just, I believe it's called, like, Palm City Island, and I love that track.
That's a great track.
The other is a CLK challenge with insane rubber banding.
Oh, I think I remember that, yeah.
And hence the title of the stream, The Rubber Band is Real. You are about to see some shit. So, steering ratio's been changed. Remap the pedals just really quickly here. And we will go find this. Actually, there is a cockpit view in this game on the super duper bonus event you unlock at the end, but it's not very exciting.
I remember that. Yeah. I thought it's so strange that there's a cockpit view only in the bonus event.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, but it is what it is. But it's the Ferrari 360 at like the first track you race it in the game, either National Park or Pacific Forest. I probably got the name wrong, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's something that many people wanted because the old NFSs had the cockpit view, but the PS2 didn't really have the processing power to do it in a full race or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a design decision too, or just a space issue.
Modeling interiors for every car would be a tall order, so that makes sense too.
So we're gonna run 10 laps at Palm City Island with max difficulty McLaren F1 LMs. This is a fucking race. Thank you for tuning in, because we're gonna be here a while. For like the 9 people here. I don't know why you're here still, but you sat through 2 IndyCar races.
It's true.
So before I get into this, this game has 2 handling modes. Question, Ethan, can you tell the difference between classic and extreme?
I was never able to.
I'm in the same boat. I still don't know. I think in extreme it removes the front sway bar. I prefer classic handling because there's like a bit of understeer in the car.
That makes sense. Yes.
I feel like they just like extreme with a wheel is terrible. And I've compared the 2 handling modes. You run about a second apart. I'm quicker on classic. Really,
I've got it. MTM2. The difference between professional and other handling mode. Like one is kind of planted and arcadey. Well, not arcadey, but the other is just oversteering. Or PCAS 2, the stable and loose setups. Could be like that.
10 laps. This is some shit.
Alright, might want to go make a cup of tea, boys.
So my quickest time here, and this is on my channel if you go into my hot lap playlist. This is I ran like a 2:51 here. So the benchmark I've already set for myself. The F1, like the street version, is actually slightly quicker than the GT spec car. Because you can actually hit higher speeds. Because in this game they've actually modeled the drag that the rear wing produces.
That's cool.
But this car is generally easier to drive more consistently, and one thing you'll see as the race goes on here in this event is the rubber banding being insane. If you run at a very high pace, these cars fucking hit everything. This is one of the more fun parts about playing Need for Speed with rubber band turned on, even though it makes for really retarded shit to happen sometimes, is that if you are quick, the AI will struggle to catch up with you, and they will just start spazzing out, and it's kind of awesome.
There was a shortcut through those trees there, you know.
I like my line. And there was a period of time when I'd play this like all night, just this track, and I got all the shift points down, and it was just disgusting how quick I was.
Jesus Christ.
Because like I said, when you're running a car this quick, it's not a very long course. I mean, I'm already halfway through lap 1. But if you're in like one of those Opel Speedsters, this is just torture.
Yes. The sun is in the track.
Hey man, that's a Fallout 76 bug. PS4 games have that issue, it's okay.
Yeah, that's one thing about PCSX2 emulation is some light sources, or brights rather, will show up over everything else. I think that's an issue GT4 has as well. With headlights, I believe.
Hey man, I don't care if my sun clips through the ground. I don't have the sun in the headlight, so it's okay.
Memes. Oh, you fucked that one up, didn't you?
Yep, run the Bathurst setup.
Yeah, but that would actually work here. Augie, the kind of guy to go to Daytona road course with the Nürburgring Nordschleife set up, and I'm like, holy shit, you're retarded. And then he goes to the Nürburgring Nordschleife with the Monza setup, and he just whips me every time. I'm like, what the fuck?
So that's lap 1, just over 3 minutes in length. It's gonna be a 30-minute race, holy shit. Let's see how close we run to our PB now that I got a flying start. I'll botch that corner. This
right, purple sectors, boy.
This hairpin in the city is really fun, especially on wheel and pedals, because you can feel the car. This game's tires are pretty good in that you can feel all 4 tires simultaneously break traction, and it does this kind of 4-wheel drift through the center of the corner, and it feels so good. And then you apply the throttle, and you're like, yeah, I'm playing an arcade game. There's little movements the suspension and the tires do in this game every so often. I'd say every like 10 or 12 corners that you definitely forget that this is supposed to be a game for teenagers.
These were the golden days, man. Not to mention it shipped complete, without bugs, no DLC. You bought the game and that was it. It was finished. Can you imagine if it came out today? Like all the constant updates, DLC, map expansions.
This game would be interesting with DLC. There'd be a lot of content for it. Like this engine, this kind of track design, I don't think I'd have an issue with it.
That's true.
DLC, my main issue is that the quality just isn't there.
Yeah.
Like for example, and I'll knock my own company's games. because it's fair that way. But for example, the fun pack,
Five.
I didn't really enjoy any of the cars in the fun pack. It's not that they were like bad cars,
I'll
but
sue them for misrepresentation. You were falsely sold a product. They called it the fun pack. It wasn't fun.
no,
Got my money back.
but that's kind of what I mean. Is there were some packs, and another one is actually the Ferrari pack. Like I will gladly put as much effort as I can into making sure people enjoy those cars, like from a bug and glitch and just fun standpoint. But there are certain packs that I personally, as a player, just I'm not interested in, and I feel that's the problem with DLC as a whole nowadays. Is that getting that right combination of like, oh, this is a good addition to the game, versus what's going to make us money is very, very difficult.
Yes. No, that's a tricky line to tread. That one. That's a very good point.
The last games to really do it were Project Gotham Racing 4, or 3 rather, and Need for Speed Pro Street on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Those games, in my opinion, had decent DLC packs. They were cheap. There were usually a lot of cars in them, and it was stuff where it felt like it added to the game. And I'm 10 seconds off pace. I'd like to run a sub 2 in the 2-minute sector. Push a little harder this lap.
Oh, only 6 people watching now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, they realised the length of this race.
Hey man, Jimmy Broadbent streams full-length F1 races. They can sit through half an hour of Hot Pursuit too.
That's true. I'd rather watch this. Can't recall anyone else streaming like old PS2 games like this. It's like, oh, look at me playing iRacing again.
Well, and that's the thing with sim streams. It's like, now that I'm kind of like doing this, not on a schedule or anything, but just the fact that I'm doing it at all, it's like, what can I do that's different? And the reality is, everyone streams themselves doing GT3 at Silverstone.
Yep.
And like, that's, you know what, that's fine. Because there are a group of users who enjoy watching what's current and relevant. Like, let's say if iRacing is at Silverstone that week for their IMSA series, that's perfectly fine. You know, people are going to stream that race, but there are other games, there are other tracks, like this. This is different. There's still someone good playing it.
Yeah, I would stream the shit out of Dropship, believe you me. And I would like to do an F1 Cody's career. Like, maybe starting from 2010, but I don't own all the games. Maybe starting from 2016, because that was the first one that you could have your avatar in. And just do it year by year. Everyone else's career mode is like doing multiple seasons within the same game, but I would go from like 2016 to 2017 to 18 to 19, like as individual games. I think it'd be pretty neat.
And have the same character in each one.
Yep.
That's kind of what some NHL streamers do. They have the same guy they make in every game.
It's kind of like this, follow this guy's progress and see him try and climb the ladder, maybe make a few duff decisions.
One of the games I'm disappointed you never got to play was Evolution Studios' Formula 1 game on PS3.
Oh yeah.
Surprisingly good game, and a career mode that was insanely tough. You spend your entire first season as a test driver.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Don't make me buy a PS3.
And it was ridiculous. Oh,
don't make me buy a PS3.
Don't buy a PS3. I don't think it's worth it for one game. But
damn it. That's the kind of shit that appeals to me, though. Because, like, I find myself wishing that Cody's would start their career off as, like, oh shit, he fucked you.
Yep.
I wish they started out doing, like, the Barcelona preseason test, I want to have like limited free practice one runs. I want to start my career like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Evolution went into that level of detail, and it was. I mean,
Oh,
I tried it, and it was difficult even with my skill set. But I was playing on like hard and stuff. It is a wild game, and I think the thing I like most about it is even though some of the tracks are modeled really terribly. I mean, there's like some crazy elevation changes at like the Nürburgring. Hockenheim's another one that's not very good. Same with Imola. But that era of cars is so ridiculously insane, even compared to what we have now, that it's something I enjoyed my time with it, even though it didn't really play it as much as I'd wanted to.
hmm. And this was Championship Edition, right?
Yeah, the '06 season.
Okay.
Understeer.
Oh, it looks really good.
The level of detail in the graphics at the time, because I was kind of big on like reading gaming sites back in the day.
Hmm.
When the first screenshots came out, and it was bull shots, but then the actual screenshots came out and they looked just as good. That was really the turning point where holy shit, new video game consoles are a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this. Damn it.
Do we have any questions from the chat? All our loyal PRC fans.
Nope. Ask us anything. Anything at all. Or Austin, and I'll relay it to him.
Yeah, I've driven this track enough where I can kind of go on autopilot and talk for a bit.
I've got one. Who would win in a fight? Chad Fortune or Jimmy Creedon?
Neither. The guy who just ass rammed me at about 1 billion miles an hour. You'll see. You're on delay. Remember when we took the green flag and I was like, so the rubber banding in this is pretty insane.
Oh my god.
Like, rewind and look at my speed just before I get hit, and then compare it to his speed. That was easily 500 kilometers an hour.
It's like the police from Driver 3. Oh god.
That is a special kind of McLaren F1 LM.
No, he's just faster because he has a direct drive wheel.
Yep, that was by far a direct drive wheel AI.
Now you see what he did? He turned his force feedback off.
Yep. No, Need for Speed with catch-up AI and a good driver is beautiful for how broken it gets. And that's not going to be the last time that happens this race either.
The game's just sent into a panic because it's like the player isn't supposed to go this fast.
Yeah, the player is fucking flying, and we have issues because we can't keep up, so here's 3,000 horsepower.
And unlimited traction.
That was... Fuck, that was like a Mario Kart power-up. He was the red shell. Jesus, I can't wait to go back and watch that after.
Moria.
And you know what pisses me off is I kind of had a good start to that lap, too.
Yeah.
I want to run somewhere in the 250s. I don't care if it's a 59.99.
You can do it. Still no questions? Come on, Bruce. We're desperate for attention. Validate us. Okay, bye-bye.
View count's probably like 4 right now.
6.
That's not bad.
It's about to be 5 probably, because Hanasu Kabe is about to leave.
I'm gonna get ass rammed again.
Oh, I see him coming on the fucking map.
Yep. I looked before I got into the braking zone and I just prepared for it. Oh, that was a really good corner. Yeah, now I'm in the zone. We got 4 laps to set a decent time.
Let's fucking get this bread. Oh, good lines.
Yeah, you gotta install this at some point. This is a very strange way to experience childhood. What the fuck? I have... Uh-oh. Dude, there's an AI that just warped in front of me. This is amazing. We're getting hit by like 500 km cars. I fucking love Need for Speed.
Okay, I think we've established that you only want speed. That man needs speed. He's just shooting along with smoke like pouring.
Well, I mean, look at the position indicator too. It's like he wrecks out and the game's just like, no, player's too far ahead. Fuck you. That's the game's version of competition caution.
Okay, normally I wouldn't do this, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Crashed car.
I'm just glad he didn't hit me.
Yeah. No, that's death.
Game's
That is
throwing,
death.
yeah, game's throwing fucking supernatural shit at me. Guys hitting me at like 500k. Guys like
It's
spawning in front of me.
It's like in Driver San Francisco where Jericho's like throwing the cars at you with his mind.
Making a really good time this lap, so I'm about to get pulverized by an AI car. That was beautiful. I'm so happy I saw that. I remember, this is just one challenge. This is the easier of the 2 challenges, in my opinion.
And it's up on YouTube for all to see. You should probably timestamp that. Oh, your lines are beautiful, man.
Yeah, and it's not turning the way I want it to. I think we gotta lower the front ride height so more air goes over the front.
Or increases the ground effect between the front splitter, but yeah.
Here they come! 259.95, perfect, I'm happy. Holy shit. Did the silver car again, just fucking said hello. Why are you honking at me? That's not fair, I don't know what I'm at my horn button to. I want to honk back.
Just imagine like them going yeehaw like an MTM2. He's like fucking screaming along, spinning around 360 degrees, smoke pouring out 300 mile an hour, just going yeehaw. He's coming for you.
Yeah, there's not enough front grip in this car, but not much we can do. And it feels like there's downforce model to an extent, so like the quicker I go, I can start feeling it like suck to the ground almost. I don't think
That's
EA
cool.
actually modeled that, but it seems like I get faster and the car starts to turn a little better.
I remember a bit feeling like that, yeah.
Washed out in the dirt, but this car's not meant to go on dirt, so That's okay.
He says as he takes a dirt road.
And like, I wish I could show my pedal inputs and like find out a way to do that, because it would be interesting for people to see what I was doing. Because I'm not really doing anything I wouldn't do in a simulator. It's just everything is in fast forward. Oh, improved my sector time by half a second there. This is running 204s past couple laps.
There are little apps you can get that show like pedal and wheel inputs.
Yeah, that's something I'll look into.
Yep. I did it for a video I recorded for a who shall not be named.
Fuck, it just doesn't turn the way I want it to. It's always a little bit tight through center. But
Sounds like you need extreme handling mode then. More responsiveness in the front.
258.88, we're getting quicker. Do I get ass rammed here? Oh my goodness!
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
I look back just as the AI fucking catapult into each other.
Oof. Jesus. Yeah, note to future viewers who might be, well, people watching this now. I am watching along with you. I'm not in-game. I'm not with Austin, so I'm just watching along with you. So my reactions to things are delayed by about 5-10 seconds. So it sounds retarded. That's okay, because so do I.
3 to go. Okay, we're
Keep
switching to
going,
mix
Obi.
3.
Alright, Austin, we need mode 5 on ERS deploy. Mode 5 ERS deploy.
AI is still struggling to make certain corners behind me. They're trying though. It's cool.
Just like, he's too fucking quick.
First time I clipped a barrier in a couple laps. I hate that dirt section. The car just never has any grip there. But on the left-hander it grips better, so I don't know what's going on there. It could be just elevation. It's weird
You're
because
literally complaining that your McLaren F1 GTR has no grip on dirt.
But there are some corners, at least on this track, where if you clip the dirt right, it like helps you turn better. Like this downhill
Good point.
left-hander. Not 204s again. I just hope I don't get cheated out of the win. That'd be really lame.
Yeah, you're on the final straight and shoo! Smoke pouring out of his eyes like a fucking rocket.
We're getting one more grand display from the AI before the race is over. I can feel it. Understeer.
Yep.
Oh no, that kind of worked. Oh no, it didn't.
How did we go from 8 viewers to 5 in the space of a minute?
They mad.
Probably.
$258.90. We're pretty consistent here.
Yeah.
They're all piling into the wall again.
251.
I kind of blew that corner.
Led a lap, plus 1,000. Yeah, he has to, otherwise he dies. It's coming, I can feel it.
Yep. I'm just gonna
You're
fucking...
gonna get annihilated.
And it'll be beautiful. Like, I won't even be mad. Okay, I might be a little mad because this race is pretty long, but still.
Yeah. I ain't fucking sitting through this again.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just go to the CLK race. CLK race is actually shorter, though. It's only like 4 laps, I think.
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah, I'm scared, slightly.
Watch your bum bum. I would have taken the shortcut just to agitate him even further.
Ooh, I clipped the barrier.
The stick.
I'm good.
You know what would be fun to stream is Brick Rig's Demo Derby.
Brick Rigs anything is just amazing.
Robo style in fight. And we can have people placing bets in chat.
Someone needs to make Robosaurus.
Yes. Just ask Ash.
Ash, can you build us Robosaurus? Can you make one
please,
purple,
please,
though?
please. Pretty please. I want a pink one.
Toss him like $10 over fucking PayPal. Just be like, yeah, could you build us like a Lego Robosaurus? I don't care how well it works, just something that's kind of vaguely in that same vein.
Oggy wants a purple one, and I would like. Can you do mine with flames on it?
I just completely forgot to shift down because I was thinking of Lego Robosaurus. That's okay. I was on a good run too, but I clipped a barrier.
Lego Motorsports, are you sure this is the driver you want in your late mod? I just missed a shift because I was thinking about Lego Robosaurus. No one's ever said that before.
Fourth gear. Gonna take the white
What do
flag
you
this
get?
time by.
What do you get stuck in your head during a race? Because surely you get in the zone and your mind won't.
Actually, no. In fact, one of the reasons I started taking GoPro footage of my races is because I would forget entire races because I was that focused.
Shit.
Yep.
Alright, I figured it was the kind of thing where you like completely zone out, go on autopilot, and think about
No.
me. Or
No, like, and this goes back to when I was in Hornets too. Like, I was finding after events, I'd just be like, wow, like, that was kind of nuts, but I do not remember a damn thing that happened.
It's
Hello.
like when you exit the cinema.
Yeah.
And you're like, was that a dream? It's like post-sensory overload.
Yeah, and
I
you
had that
remember,
with
like,
karting.
key parts and little flashes of, like, what happened in the movie, but you can't really remember. It was very much the same thing, and I was like, I need a way to document this because, like, this is really cool.
Yep. No, it's the same way with karting. I think I was very focused on karting.
Yeah.
I remember thinking at one point, oh god, Oggy would be proud of me with how I just braked for that corner. The back end came out and I was just fucking whamming it on in there, but
That being said, I do zone out if I go karting stoned. I've had like songs stuck in my head. I've been annoyed that the wind chill from karting was uncomfortable. Oh yeah, that fucking bad lip reading song.
yeah, the Yoda one.
Seagulls, stop it now.
Strolling
There was
with the seagulls. Stop it now.
There's one that they did a remix of. It was like they did two. They did the Yoda one, which is like kind of like a funny one, and then they did a serious remix of I think it was like Empire Strikes Back, and it was like this actual like semi-produced pop song, and it was really really good.
Oh. The
Trying to-
best one is still Ted Cruz. Have you
I've
seen
never
the
seen
Ted
that.
Cruz one? It's not a song, but it's just so fucking well done. It really is. For anyone watching, like, well, now and maybe later on when this is all recorded, put the live chat on. I'll put the link in there. It's so good.
I'm maybe 30 seconds from home plate, and there's this AI who's just flying on my mini map.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is not gonna end well for me. So I'm wide open. If he catches me, I'm mad.
You're about to get the garnered.
We might be good. We're gonna take it.
I swear he just spun out, but that might just be me. I thought his arrow like was pointing in the wrong
He's
direction.
fucking flying.
Uh-oh.
We got it.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Just look back and I swear I'm like
Yeah, he's fucking lighting the tires.
like 350 miles an hour in 20th gear, just lighting them up.
Average speed 240. Only ran 228. Top speed.
Best lap.
I think that is a lie.
One of their best laps was 248.
243. Ashley with a 243. That no. Sorry guys.
God damn Alexis, step it up. Let
Like,
down the rubber band.
A 43 because I ran a 51 or a 53 here. A 43 is like I don't even know, man. That's like they're all in the 40s. It's fucking ridiculous. Well, okay. Here's my best times. The LM ran a 54, so I'm 4 seconds off pace in chat. 51, 51, 53, 53. Yeah, so AI's running in the low 40s is kind of absurd.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Why is your name Oggy here, but sub in game?
I don't know, I just want to be a goof. Some people know me as Pizza Sub. So I beat the save game that I downloaded by like 2 whole minutes. View lap times. How consistent were we? 3 flat, 59, 58, 58. Holy shit. Lap 5, 6, 7, and 8. For how like crazy NFS is, and like how hard it is to hit your marks, that's surprisingly consistent.
It's good.
Yep, that was fun. So now we go to part 2, which is the CLK race that nobody likes. So I believe it is event 29 on Tropical Circuit. The save past this. 6 laps at... Okay, Island Outskirts. This is a fun track too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Again, the rubber banding in this is beyond ridiculous. Like, the McLaren was, like, kind of okay.
That's still such a good looking car, I think. I really like that car.
Yeah, every late 90s FIA GT1 car, the styling they absolutely nailed, from Toyota to the Porsche, the later variants anyway, to the CLK, to the McLaren.
Maserati. MC12.
The MC12 wasn't till 03 or 04. 04 sounds right. But no, it's the same kind of vein. Mid-engine, really long, kind of, I don't want to say triangular, but the front was kind of just... There was no splitter on the front. It was just this big, like, angled downward, you could almost say like a doorstop. So the car sits, the bumper's really low in the front, and then the car kind of like slants upward, almost like a funny car, just like stretched out.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm not gonna win this one. This is a shit show. Back up a bit, get a running start, and here we go. So I don't know if you knew about that in NFS. You have that little kind of like launch pad mode. If you back up, it lets you go in reverse a bit. And then you can press gas like during the 1 and the 3, 2, 1 countdown and get a running start.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh, I never knew that.
And I didn't learn it till I was like messing around calibrating my pedals one day.
I was today years old when I learned this.
And I don't believe that mechanic is in the EA Vancouver version. I think that's who made it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, discrepancies between versions of this, like PC and console,
It's disgusting.
is disturbing. It's disturbing, yeah.
And it was even, I remember I wasn't subscribed to Nintendo Power, but I bought like Nintendo Power magazines back when this was new, and even the reviews for Hot Pursuit 2 and the GameCube, they weren't nice to it from what I remember.
Yep. PS2 Uber rallies.
So this race isn't too bad right now, but I know it does get very, very rough. And this race is also a lot shorter too. 6 laps,
good.
and the track, instead of a 3-minute track, it's like 2 and something.
The floor is lava.
You know what's really shitty is that when I was young I had like a fear of volcanoes. And it was like one of those irrational things that I read like a story when I was young about like how the Mexico volcano formed.
Yeah.
And it just like sprang up out of nowhere in a farmer field. And I was like kind of scared that would happen here.
Yeah. No, I can understand that.
And I'm just like, this is a retarded fear to have, but like, I don't know.
Oh.
So like, I'd always like kind of be uncomfortable driving these circuits, but now I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. It's fucking textures.
I used to be scared of the train in MTM2. Because I was scared of getting hit by it, like obliterated by it. It would hurt.
Oh,
So I rarely drove Farm Road 29 or Tin Horn Junction.
Both tracks suck. You didn't miss fuck all.
Farm Road was right.
Farm Road was overplayed in the MSN Gaming Zone demo.
Yes.
So I was sick of it. And it was a cutter's paradise too.
Yes, exactly. Like the AI just take a straight line through the field on professional mode.
Yep.
Silly. And I was also scared of the graveyard as well, just because it's fucking graveyard. It's dark. The music's creepy.
Graveyard, I didn't really enjoy as a track. It was just really boring. It was kind of a showcase for all like the tombstone models they built and stuff that TRI made. But I don't know. Wasn't a big fan. The layout was not very good, and there were a lot of tracks in MTM2 where the layout was just really shit.
What was the best one then, in terms of vanilla content?
All of them, in all honesty, were quite bad, and that's why it was a godsend that we were able to use the MTM1 tracks in MTM2.
Oh yeah.
Best one though, Scrapyard Run was pretty good.
Yes.
I don't think it was
I agree with
perfect. I think Crazy 98's overrated. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but I don't like the track.
It's okay. It's just a bit flat.
There's one that was just on the tip of my tongue, and I was like, oh, I'm an idiot, and I forgot the name now.
Describe it. I guarantee you will know it. Don't hit
Voodoo
that.
Island. Yeah, that's why I said I was an idiot, because we were just running that the other day. But
Yeah.
no, Scrapyard Run and Voodoo Island were both pretty interesting circuits. In that
Yeah, Voodoo Island was
yeah.
top. Sorry, go ahead.
The only thing I don't like about Voodoo Island is when we ran it, it was very one groove.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you picked up on that, but it felt like there was just one line. Whereas Scrapyard Run, we could kind of cross each other over a bit.
That's true. But then again, did we really race on Voodoo Island, or did we just do qualifying laps?
No, we ran pretty hard on Voodoo Island, because that's why we were running such quick times, is it was like nose to tail.
Okay.
MTM1, though, in terms of circuit design, there were so many good tracks.
I agree. I remember Yucatan Adventure just because I've always loved like
It happened
palm trees
again.
and ocean. Oh no.
Yeah, fucking CLK shot by me. It wasn't as bad, but it was wrecking ball tier. I fucking love Need for Speed.
The fucking under tray is going like.
But yeah, Yucatan, I agree that was a good track. Although it was very, when you think about it, it was very Le Mans like,
Yeah.
in that lots of like straightaways and just weird. Like it was Le Mans.
I just like the aesthetics, you know, because ocean, palm trees, Dick Dale surfing music, surf green everywhere. Love it.
Yeah, they absolutely nailed the color palette and the atmosphere for Yucatan.
Yep. Mud pies. Mud pies. Shout out to Mud pies. It's flat, but crush cars, dude. And that big ass jump before the grandstands. You can't knock Mud pies, really.
Yeah, Mud Pies was just a general good first impression of that game. The other track I was gonna say is maybe it loses points now because I can cut the shit out of it, but Arizona.
Yes.
Arizona as a track, especially when I played it at such a young age, and to really go from the desert environment to the kind of foothills to the urban center of what, again, is probably Phoenix. That kind of blew my mind as a kid because it felt like a road trip, and now it's, oh, you just cut the shit out of half the course, so it loses points there for that.
Holy fuck, he hit you in mid.
Yeah, like I said, this is a rough race, and I'm fully expected that.
Yeah, I did love that big road trip feel. That's why I love downloading all these really long tracks on MTM2.com. Like the Paris-Dakar one that's so big it had to be split in two. I loved that. I loved going on a road trip. It felt like exploring because, I mean, with my upbringing, I couldn't really go out and explore much. Like, I mean, I could go out and explore, but not like a big, like, vast, epic trip from Paris to the desert.
What the fuck?
Kind of thing. Uh-oh.
So there's a car that passes me with a blown engine, and he just fucking turns on the jets. It's impressive.
This Mercedes CLK brought to you by SpaceX.
Yeah, I'm in a CLK GTR. He's in like Hamilton's W08. Just good night.
No, his engine isn't blown. That's just all the fucking weed he's vaping.
I mean, like, I'm
whatever.
trying to catch him, and I can't. And I'm trying to, like, not run into smoke, because the smoke's an issue.
I want so badly to imagine like muffled Eurobeat coming out of that.
Oh my god, it's gonna happen again.
You should email EA about this bug, dude.
No, it's just the rubber banding is kind of crazy, and that's hence the title of the stream. That's why I kind of wanted to run these.
It was a joke. What the fuck do you expect EA to do about this now?
I think it'd be awesome to like sign up as a boomer and hit up their QA, or not QA department, but like questions and answers email. Be like, hey, my name's Frederick Anderson. I've been playing Hot Pursuit 2 for the past 18 years. I'm 49 years old. I found another bug. Let's try this route, because why not? Uh-oh. No, I did not know where to go.
Oh,
We'll go back to the High Line. I know that route.
Oh shit. Yeah. I'd have gone down through the beach if I were you, but
I mean, I was doing what, like 270? It probably wasn't gonna happen.
yeah, probably. I think they were shooting a movie down there or something. They were like cameras and tanks coming up the beach or something like that.
That sounds... Oh my god, this guy's on a fucking tear again. Dude, every lap this guy who's just destroyed his car is like, yeah, I got a hybrid boost. Won't be invented for about 15 years, but just sit tight. Just watch this shit. And in single race, you can turn the rubber band off, which is what I did for the warm-up stuff. But it's funny to run with it on because the game just spazzes out, as you see.
Yeah.
We're on 2 to go, so honestly, I gotta push and make a few mistakes, because I'd like to get the W here. Chat has been quiet, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty dead, but it's late there. And it's definitely late here. It's early here.
God, this has no, like, torque in the higher rev range. So you leave it... Uh-oh. That's a big arrow.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get denied at the stripe. We're coming to the white flag.
Probably.
That was a very lucky bounce off the tree.
Oh, incoming. Oh. Oh, holy fuck. You just cheated death.
Hey man, the AI cheats too.
That's true.
I wish I was running this race a little cleaner and I knew the track a little better, but it is what it is. Uh-oh, uh-oh. First major mistake of the race? Sure. Oh, let's try and come back now. That's shitty.
Oh no.
That, honestly, for how long I've been driving in this stream, like 45 minutes of straight, you know, extreme AI, rubber banding on, for that to be the first wreck, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's good. That's solid. It shows that you are actually human.
Honestly, like, my favorite thing to do, because I'm as fast as I am now, is wreck, because it's just amazing. Like, rally games are so much fun.
Yep. That's one thing I liked about BeamNG, because the wrecks are so amazing. And, like, I found a Nordschleifer ripped from, like, Race 07 or whatever.
Yep.
And someone put it in BeamNG, and the handling was actually quite convincing, quite fun. So I was just ripping laps around the Nürburgring as fast as I can, and if I go over the limit, I'm dead. Like, I go over the barriers, I tumble, my car's absolutely shattered. Fantastic.
I wrecked once and I'm gonna lose this race. I hate life.
Have faith.
They just rocketed away from me. That sucks. And now I've lost my rhythm. Yep, down to 5th. Just not happening. I knew I wasn't gonna win this one though, so that's
Yep.
okay.
Are you going to run it again, or no?
Now that I know the track, I think it's worth running again.
Okay.
But I'll
Watch
finish.
you go to 0 viewers now.
Yeah, I'll finish out the lap. I think the big thing is I don't run this track as much as I run the other one.
Palm Springs, yeah.
This one is really technical.
Alright, I'll let you get going on that. I'll make a cup of coffee. Be right back.
So who are the diehards that are still here? Because there's 6 of you. I ran a 216 in this car? Okay. Well, we're gonna run that again while Ethan's making some tea. Because I want to get the W on this one. This is a very, very tough race. So the one thing about this car in comparison to the McLaren F1 is that the McLaren F1, both variants in this game, have really abnormally long gear ratios. So you only run 4th gear in both cars, whether you're in the LM or the street version. This car is geared more like a traditional FIA GT1 race car. So you end up running a lot in 5th and 6th gear on the quick parts, and the car only tops out at around 300k or about 180 miles an hour, which is kind of accurate, I think. This car is generally easier to drive in my opinion, but the McLaren is easily faster. And the AI is trying to dump me on lap 1. That's cool. Thanks. Oh, let's try and set a quick lap. Bad corner. That line kind of turned out okay. Check up here, because that's what we wrecked last time. Got an okay lap going so far. Hello. Fuck you. Sorry I'm not talking as much if you're expecting commentary. I'm just trying to focus for the first few laps and really get the lines nailed down, so when Ethan comes back it's just autopilot. An okay sector split. Seem to be hovering around the 136, 135 range. We got through sector 3. And then of course the home stretch you don't actually see. Guess we're gonna have to experiment with the left lane up here. I don't want to because it's kind of sketchy, but okay, thanks. I said this race is gonna be rough, and I was right.
I've returned to the life of the party.
I just got shoved into a barrier. This is a lot rougher than race 1.
Oh no.
Life is pain.
Oh yeah, there's the movie stuff.
I'm glad you saw it because I didn't.
You passed by like 7 film cameras and anti-tank defenses. The hell?
Nope, didn't ring a bell. Sorry.
That laser focus. I met someone at Silverstone because I went to Silverstone for the World Endurance Championship, and I met a guy there on the way out of the last day, and he said he saw Fernando Alonso walking between the motorhome and the garage, and he was just like, "Hi Fernando, good luck," and Fernando just didn't even look at him. He just goes, "Race mode," and just kept walking. He was kind of big, annoying kind of guy, so I don't really blame Nando for that. Race mode. Just fucking keeps walking.
The IndyCar rumors with him and Jimmy Johnson, which I think we talked about off stream, are
No, we
insane.
talked about it in the last stream.
We did?
Yep,
Okay.
last stream. But yeah, Fernando
Popcorn.
doesn't have a full-time seat, but I hope he gets one some other way for 2020 would be the next year. But we'll see. Just because of his poor relationship with Honda,
Yeah.
and Honda, you know, they're all tied up with the team he would run with, so
Well,
they kind of don't want him. Yeah, he kind of shot himself in the foot with that one. Because, I mean, even though Honda's Indy engines are okay, yeah, he's kind of burned that bridge.
the rumor is it's that McLaren's going to run their own team with their own shit. Hello. That was
That'd
an
be nice.
interesting thing I just came across.
I'll see you in a sec.
An AI car doing donuts.
Okay. He's celebrating. But no, I would love to see Jimmy Johnson in IndyCar. And honestly, with Lowe's leaving, I would say 2019. I would give him 2019, and then for 2020, he's off.
I think Alley Financials for 2 years, though. But I'm definitely with you on that.
Well, after they've gone, then I don't think he's going to leave without getting 8. But I don't know. Might be wrong. Yeah, that's right. And, you know, Fernando's engine even failed in the last Indy 500, so... But regardless, it fucked him out of a full-time seat. I want to see all the F1 drivers who've said that they'd be interested in NASCAR to all show up at the same time in like the same truck or Xfinity race. So that's Roman Grosjean, Kimi Raikkonen, Jenson Button, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso now, I guess. Imagine all of them in one NASCAR
Ricciardo.
race. Yep, Daniel Ricciardo, good
Like
shout.
solid eight drivers. Yeah, that'd be an interesting Xfinity field.
That'd be amazing.
And then they all run like 20th and fucking like Eric Jones wins.
Ah, but road course. That would be a hell of a fucking field of road
Charlotte
course ringers,
Roval
though.
with a bunch of F1 drivers. Hey. That'd put fucking fans in the stands.
Yes.
Hi.
I know Kevin Magnussen tested one of Tony Stewart's sprint cars recently. So he might be in. I like Grosjean, he's a good guy.
I don't know where the shortcut goes. It's a fluky bounce. I've made up 2 seconds this lap, but I don't think I'll get there. Having to fucking wheel it.
You can do it.
Or I'll get cucked at the stripe by super aggressive AI.
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy shit.
Uh-oh. God damn it.
Can if I lose this race, it's not because I lost. The AI cheated, and I have video proof.
Yeah. He was in your line of sight for all of 2 frames.
I was about to say, like, if you don't see it, I don't blame you, because I didn't see it. I also believe there's a guide written by Warhawk for this game. One of this like OG game guide authors back when Game FAQs was all text-based. I mean, it still is, but back in the OG GameFAQs days. And he basically says in the walkthrough for this game that this is the most difficult mission in this game.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And like, I'm just wall riding to keep speed up. I don't really want to because it looks sloppy, but we're halfway through the lap and I'm still 6 seconds back.
That's cheating, Austin. You shouldn't cheat.
It'd be interesting to see lap times. It really would.
And just be like Horizon 4, where it's like 2.4 seconds.
You know what? I come second, I'll be happy. Which I won't because here comes the AI onslaught.
You're about to get analed.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. First place is so far ahead, it's ridiculous.
Shit, yeah.
They went from 6 seconds to 12 seconds. Inhuman acceleration in these cars. But it does put on a good show. Please don't wreck me.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a tree. But you know what? That's okay. Bad things happen to good people. We'll take 6th.
Okay.
It is what it is. I mean...
So fucking emo.
We're just gonna look at the lap times. They'll come up here.
Well, bad things happen to good people, I guess.
A 210 from Ashley. A 213 from the race winner Alexis. Average speed 10k faster when I was able to run.
My god, 9 seconds.
Like I said, I have a clean lap was like a 219. We'll see what my clean lap was. Yeah, 219. 9 whole fucking seconds that the AI makes up.
Alright, suggestion. What if you tried the extreme handling mode?
It's just a sway bar tweak.
It might give it more bite.
No, I'm not lacking bite. That's the issue. It's just...
Oh, so it's perfect and the AI is just, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and like, it's fun in this, like, cruel and unusual way. But it is 11:50, and that was kind of fun. But I'm gonna sign off because long streams don't need to be that long. But thanks for coming, all like 5 people that showed up.
Yay. Yeah, I should probably get going as well. It's 6:51 a.m.
Yeah, go to bed.
Yeah, I think I will. Good night, Austin.